Konnichiwa, hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the PUR 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Long Wear Foundation and Concealer. I know that I am extremely late to the game. We're going to be testing this out. I'm going to be doing a wear test for as long as I possibly can. We're getting a pretty late start to the day, but I will try my best. Now, if you're new here or you enjoy my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when my videos go up. And my disclaimer, if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is definitely not the place for you. I'm a no filter bitch and I have no idea what's going to come out of this mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So if you guys are interested in the PUR 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Long Wear Foundation and Concealer, then just stay tuned. My face it's purging, all right? I am on week almost 3 of my spironolactone, which is a hormonal medication, trying to treat my acne, and I have a feeling that Accutane is going to be the next step because this is not getting any better. If anything, it's getting worse. Although it is purging, it's really bad. Like, it's a really bad purge. I have heard so many great things. I've seen this in so many Instagram stories and YouTube videos, and everyone says that it's full coverage, it's great for dry skin, it has a great finish, it just looks really, really good. And so I'm really excited to try this because I have a lot of shit to cover on this face. You guys, this has been the worst journey with my acne. I'm actually losing a lot of sleep because it hurts to lay on either side of my face, especially because everything is like right on my jawline, and I'm a side sleeper, so everything just kind of like rubs. I even have a silk pillowcase and everything is just a hot mess on this face. Today, to prep the skin, I exfoliated very lightly. I can't use any kind of like super harsh exfoliants because again, it hurts the face like really bad. And I moisturized the crap out of my skin. I also primed the shit out of my face with the moisturizing primer. I use the same one all the time because it's the best, which is the Smashbox Primerizer. This is really, really great. I had bought this a couple months back, like this was actually before the virus hit, because I remember going in stores and swatching the color to see if I could match my skin tone, and I'm like in between this shade and the first shade. The first shade is LN1. I got LN2, which is Fair Ivory. It is for very fair skin with neutral undertones. This retails for $36. You get 1 fluid ounce, just like any other normal liquid foundation. Now I'm going to read some of the details. There's a lot, so I'm going to try to quickly get through this. It says, redefine complexion perfection with PUR's groundbreaking longwear foundation and concealer 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie longwear foundation and concealer, formulated to instantly mask blemishes and imperfections, leaving behind a natural skin-like finish. Well, today we have more than one blemish, for sure. This multi-purpose complexion miracle serves as both a foundation and concealer with a unique dual applicator component for quick and easy application. Conceal blemishes, dark spots, and imperfections with the targeted doe foot applicator, or achieve flawless all-over coverage with the pump. It's weird because I've only seen most people use the doe foot applicator, but if you look at it, there's a fucking pump on top, so I don't know why I never noticed that. Packed with skin-loving ingredients, this longwear formula helps protect skin against environmental stressors like pollution and high energy visible blue light for a healthier looking complexion. The packaging is plastic, which is weird. I don't know why, but I was expecting this to be glass, or I always thought it was glass. I guess when you want to use it as a concealer, you use the doe foot applicator, and when you want to use it as a regular foundation, you use the pump. But I personally love doe foot applicators, especially for foundation. There's a huge ass spider in my room. Oh my god. All right, super out of breath. How to take care of that huge ass spider. All I do is just take a little mini vacuum and like suck all the bugs up in my house because I don't do bugs. Anyways, I don't even remember what we were talking. Oh yeah, the doe foot applicator. So I am one of those people who like to apply foundation with a doe foot applicator. I really like that, that this has both options, because if you are more of a pump person, you can do that. If you're more of a doe foot applicator, you have that option as well. So let's get into this foundation quickly because I want to be able to wear it as long as possible, and you guys know me, I do not like wearing foundations for like forever. So I have my Juno & Co sponge here. I believe this is the Storm Cloud one. I can't remember if it's Storm or Storm Cloud. Either way, it's a dry sponge. I mentioned this in my makeup brush video that most of the time I use my sponges dry because when they're wet, I feel like they absorb way more product than they would when they're dry. Hopefully that makes sense. Either way, if you're using a sponge, it's going to soak up the product, period, so it's not going to give you as much coverage. But if it's dry, it's going to give you a little bit more coverage. On the other side of my face, I'm going to be going in with the the flat top Kabuki brush. We're just gonna go right into this. I'm really excited to try this doe foot applicator deal here, and I'm just hoping that this is like a good match for my skin. I should probably stop right there because I have no idea how much this foundation can stretch. I'm just like going in and getting all excited. I actually haven't filmed in a really long time because it's been so fucking hot, and my room used to be a sunroom, so it can get up to 90 degrees in this room, no joke. And when it's like that, there's no way I can film, or else I'd probably die in here. And I don't have a AC because then it's too loud and I can't film anyway, so you get my debacle here. Chatty Cathy today. So on this side, I'm just gonna go straight in with the Juno & Co sponge, completely dry. It's a little dirty, but it's just powder. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this guy out, and we're gonna see just how well. Ooh, this is not a foundation you want to leave on for too long. Well, actually, no, and it's still stretching pretty well. It's still blending. I can totally see this being high medium coverage. As for full coverage, I'm not really sure yet because we haven't gotten down to, you know, the nitty gritty part here, which is where we want to cover the most. All right, so this is one layer of application. There must be a bug in the house because my husband does the same thing with the vacuum cleaner. So this is one layer on the face. I cannot say that this is full coverage because, again, we have a lot of things peeking through here, but I don't want to add another layer until I do this side. So let's go ahead and jump on this side here and try the brush out because, again, brushes always give a lot more coverage, and that's what I'm looking for. Also, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my god, why is she using a doe foot applicator like on her acne? My face is fucking clean, okay? I never ever do any type of makeup without washing my face, moisturizing, all that stuff. My hands are clean, everything is clean. That way, whenever I do use any kind of like doe foot applicators, when you're putting it back into the product, your face needs to be clean. Like, I can't stress that enough. That's how you spread acne, is when your face isn't clean. My face is clean. Now I'm gonna go in with the flat top Kabuki. Oh my god, the stretch is real with the flat top Kabuki brush. Like, oh man, I feel like I may have put too much with the brush. If I did, I'm just gonna kind of like blend it over onto the other side. Hopefully you guys can tell the difference in how this one has a lot more coverage. Like, even here on this area, it has a lot more coverage, but I am going to be adding a little bit more because, again, if it's full coverage, it should be able to cover most of the imperfections that I have on my face. All right, so I'm going to add way more foundation here. Oh, it's so fucking tender, you guys. You don't even know. If you don't suffer through this, you really, really just don't know. No matter how much I hate someone, I would never wish cystic acne on them. And it's kind of debilitating because a lot of the time you don't want to leave the house. You don't want to see your friends, even though a lot of my friends have seen me like with my skin. And I'm one of those people who really don't give a fuck what most people think. But acne is just something that just like stops me in my tracks and just like, you're fucking ugly. Like, that's all that goes on in my head whenever I think of acne, which is like totally negative, and I shouldn't think about that because, again, this is genetic and it's not something that I can really help. All right, so this is about as full coverage as I can get it. Like, I don't see how this is full coverage, like, at all. Am I doing something wrong? I don't know. Am I supposed to let it like set on the skin a little bit? I feel like this side is covered a lot more than this side here. I think it's because this is just so red that even if it was full coverage, it still wouldn't cover it because the redness is just like really, really red. So I think I need a color corrector. As for the shade of foundation, I feel like it's almost a very close match. I think I did a pretty decent job. I'm just really not feeling the whole full coverage fantasy here. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, this is full coverage, it's great, but it's not, because it's showing all this stuff. But for the rest of my face, I feel like it's pretty fucking like full coverage, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna scoot the camera in a little bit so you guys can see, because there is something that I'm really excited about with this foundation that I just noticed right off the bat, and I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. This is what we're dealing with on a daily basis, and it hurts, and I'm over it. But the one thing I wanted to point out with this foundation right off the bat is today when I woke up, this entire area here was dry, flaky, crusty. I had like pieces of skin literally falling off my face, like that disgusting whole thing. This foundation barely clings to any of my dryness, which is completely amazing to me. I have never used a foundation that has this much coverage. Although it's not full coverage to me, it has a lot of coverage. I've never touched a foundation that has this much coverage that does not accentuate the shit out of my dry patches. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 foundations that I've come across that would give close to this kind of coverage without clinging to my dry patches. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of fucking foundations out there. You can tell that it is a little dry, but it's not like super clingy to any of the dryness. It's not creasing like incredibly fast on my little frown lines here. Here along my mouth, you can definitely tell it's a little dry, but this whole area was literally just flaking off this morning, and it's not like super clinging to dry patches. This to me, although it's not full coverage, it's hideable. Like this does not bother me because it only looks like I have 2 really, really big red ones on that side and maybe like couple here and there on this side, but this is about the amount of coverage that I want on my face whenever I have big breakouts like this, because if I overdo it to full coverage, it's gonna get way more textury and it's gonna emphasize all the bumps and lumps that I have along my jawline. So when it's like this amount of coverage, I can still take my hair and leave it down and it's still really not gonna draw too much attention to like this area here. As you can see, like my hair creates kind of a shadow and it blocks it off, but I wanted a foundation that was actually going to give me some kind of coverage to where I don't feel super self-conscious when I have to leave the house and I can't like wear too much makeup. So all I want right now is like 1 layer of foundation, maybe a little bit of powder, and that's it. I haven't been putting on makeup as much as I possibly can because I want this to heal as much as possible. And whenever you're putting foundation or makeup, it's basically not letting the skin breathe as much, and I need my skin to breathe as much as possible at this point. So I'm gonna call the check-in time now because we have the foundation on. It's good to go. It is now 2:13 and I'm just gonna call the check-in time 2:10 because I've been sitting here chatting your brains off. I'm gonna go ahead and add some concealer, a little bit of powder, do my brows, maybe some mascara. I'm not doing a lot because again, I'm not really going anywhere today. I just really want to test out this foundation because I need all the help I can get to just like kind of tone all this chaos down on my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I will be right back. All right, so I got the rest of my face on. I did use some powder, but I only powdered very, very lightly underneath my eyes and a little bit on the sides of my nose. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking your guys' heads off and just see where this foundation goes. I think I might go and get some coffee because I'm out. I didn't make any last night and I'm hurting really, really bad. It's almost 3 o'clock and I really need some fucking coffee. So I will see you guys in a couple hours for my first check-in. All right, so the time is now 6:30, so I've been wearing this a little over 4 hours. Now I only set my under eye area and a little bit here on the sides of my nose just because I can't go without setting my under eyes, but it's really starting to separate on the areas that I didn't set, and I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that. So let me scoot you guys in so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we already have a lot of separating. Now whenever it gets bubbly like this, that basically means that this foundation is separating from my skin, and it's also creasing there a little bit. As you can see here down my mouth, it is separating pretty badly and it's getting very, very textury. That's another way you can tell when foundations are starting to separate, is when things get super textury and they just don't look like they're really sitting on the skin. That's what all this is, just straight separation. I have some cat hair on my face. Now this mascara is a no-go. Look at that. I am just don't understand this mascara. It's like all underneath my eyes. So this is definitely a foundation that I'm gonna have to set if I'm going to enjoy it, because at this point right now with all the separation, I don't think it looks really good. We're just gonna see how it wears the rest of the day. I just feel like this whole area down here and the top area, basically the areas that I didn't set, is just gonna continue separating, but I'm still gonna wear this for as long as possible, even though I already wanna take it off. I don't know about anybody else, but I can always feel when my foundation starts separating like on my face. And so that's kind of why I want to take it off. But again, I'm going to try to wear it for as long as possible. So I'll see you guys in a couple more hours. So the time is now 8:58 and it's about to be 9 o'clock. So I have been wearing this for almost 7 hours, maybe 10 more minutes and 7 hours. And I just have to say that it is time to take it off. Now, first things first, this mascara, absolutely not. This is like one of the suckiest mascaras that I've tried in a really long time. As for the foundation, you can see that most of it has rubbed off on the lower half of my face. The chin area is pretty bad. There's almost like no foundation left in this area here. Around my nose has definitely rubbed off, but this is mostly because allergies and I've been wiping my nose with tissues. On my forehead area, you can see that it is definitely worse than before. It's really starting to separate now and crease. For the most part, I really do love this foundation. I think that it is one of the prettiest higher coverage foundations that I've tried in a really long time. Again, I will not say that this is full coverage because you can still see a lot of things kind of going on underneath the foundation, but I will say that this is a very high coverage foundation. So not full coverage, but maybe like super duper high medium coverage. I do like the way my skin looks. It's on the verge of being oily. So again, I feel like if I had set this, that it would look so much better. Again, with a different mascara as well. I definitely love the way that it looks, it applies, the way it blends, the way it feels. It feels very lightweight for how high coverage it is. I just really wish that I had set my entire face instead so that this would have looked a lot better 7 hours later, but that was my mistake. I should have known because I usually never not set my foundation. Of course, on my face I didn't put any bronzer or blush, so I don't really know how this is going to blend with other powder products because today all I really did was put on foundation, a little bit of concealer, and powder under my eyes. So I'm gonna have to try this in a few different ways to see if I like really am into it. But so far, I definitely think that this is a beautiful foundation and I can't wait to like try it out more. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please hit a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I post my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply want to talk shit, leave it on the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!